I hope by this point we have an intro. I do. One is in the works. I just don't know how far it is.
Oh, really? Dang. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been about, 3 weeks. Guess we'll see.
That's okay.
But in case we don't have an intro.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel. And this is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast.
Yes. Exciting times. Well, you got the floor today, so what do you have for us? What do you have?
I have the stage today.
Yes.
So this one comes from a listener.
Nice. I like it. Love it, listener. So cool.
Well, kind of a listener. Sort of a promise. One of the two. So this... Take a guess, actually. I gave
you... promise and a listener?
Mm-hmm. Take a guess.
I'm guessing Tupac or Biggie.
Yep, Tupac.
Okay. Because I was like, I think that's...
So in case you haven't heard, in 2023, the supposed killer of Tupac was arrested.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we're going to do today is just kind of go through Tupac's whole life, what made him Tupac, talk about his trials and tribulations, what made him tick, and if at any point you have any questions or anything like that, just pop on through.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a movie about him that I've seen with you?
You're probably thinking about 8 Mile with Eminem. I love that movie.
No, I don't think it is. Oh, maybe it's Ice Cube.
NWA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the movie. That has to be the one I'm thinking about.
Yep.
Ice Cube. I don't know what that... Is that the name of the movie? Ice Cube?
No. Which one?
Is it... What's the name of that movie?
NWA.
Oh, no. Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, you're right. It is Straight Outta Compton.
Okay. I was like...
But Tupac is not in there.
Okay. Well, that's the only movie I was thinking about.
You can't say they all look the same.
I didn't say that. I was going to say they all sound the same, but I know I'll get hated on by that. You'd be like, you can tell. Miguel's a musical entrepreneur.
I am not an entrepreneur. I just appreciate good music.
Yeah, Miguel is really good at listening to music.
Anyways, so we're going to start off with the history of Tupac Shakur.
Tupac.
Well, first of all, pretty much everybody knows Tupac. Everybody knows who he is.
I didn't know about Tupac until you told me about him.
You didn't know anything about Tupac. Mm-mm. Well, I take back whatever I just said.
No, but I mean, you told me about that,
You've never heard of the name Tupac?
Dude, I was a little religious girl for, my entire life, practically. Until, 3 years before we started dating? Yeah.
Dude, Tupac was a socially conscious rapper.
Yeah, and I was socially oppressed.
Yeah, he talked about that too. Oh, that's good.
I wasn't allowed to listen to worldly music, dude.
Okay, so what classified as worldly music?
If it was on KTSY, 89.5 FM, bro.
What is KTSY?
You haven't heard of that?
KTSY?
Is
that like knockoff KTVB?
No, it's I know the song instantly. I don't know if I ever told you, but I was a part of a choir that was called God's Kids.
You were.
We all were in matching shirts and we'd sing hymns and Jesus songs.
You were.
If a song wasn't about Jesus or God or any kind of worshiping or anything like that, it was worldly.
Well, now I feel like they have some pretty good music that is about God and faith, but it's...
Oh, there's a conspiracy about a band.
Green Day.
No, it's not Green Day. It's one of those kind of bands, though. Is it Green Day? No.
I have no idea.
It's like a band that, dang it, if anybody knows what band I'm talking about, I think it is it's not Green Day.
Is it a big band?
Yeah.
That they're religious?
That they're religious. Like, their songs are actually...
Why is that a conspiracy? If they want it to be religious,
I guess it can be. But, like, it's like... all of their songs, if you think about it, is like, oh, it's they're believing in God or Jesus. It all makes sense. Like, but it's just such a mainstream band that, like, a lot of, I guess...
Jonas Brothers.
No, it's not. I'll try to remember, but either way, it's like a band that's
well, if you remember,
super popular.
You let me know.
Okay.
So,
anyways,
we're going to start off with his early life.
Okay.
So, he was not born as Tupac Shakur. He was actually born as Lassane Parish Crooks.
Wait. One more time.
Lassane Parish Crooks.
Okay.
And he was born on June 16th in 1971.
Wait, when? June what?
16th.
That's pretty fancy.
I know. And his mom, Afani Shakur, was a political activist in the Black Panther movement.
Oh,
so we're going to get into a little bit of the Black Panther. Just a little bit. I just want to touch on it. So she was really in this group. Just a little bit about the Black Panthers is that they consider themselves revolutionaries who advocated against police brutality. Kind of a lot of social movements these days, I think. And at the time, her husband, his name within the Black Panther community was Lumumba, which is a freaking cool name.
That is a cool name.
Afani was telling him about a different member within the community or the Black Panther movement that kind of was off to her. It was a little off. He kept shrugging her off. And little did she know that he was actually a undercover police officer named Ralph White.
Wait, so Tupac's mom was like, to Tupac's dad was like...
No, not his dad.
Oh, to the leader was like, hey... this guy's sketch. Like, he's weird. He doesn't seem right. And he's like, whatever, dude. But he actually was a police, like,
correct,
trying to figure out...
Not Lumumba.
Like, but the other
Ralph
guy,
White,
yeah, the other guy.
Yeah.
But why they were just, were they just to get more info about the...
Right.
Okay.
So this was actually... when police infiltrated the Black Panther movement, it's actually what caused it to kind of close down later on.
Oh, I didn't know.
So within Black Panther history, there's a group called the Panther 21 that Afani, Tupac's mom, and his mom's husband, Lumumba, were a part of. And as soon as police infiltrated, they kind of took the organization down, and it led to the arrests of the Black Panther 21. And that was on April 2nd, 1969. So this is before Tupac was born.
Oh, okay.
Within these 21 that were charged, what
did they get charged with?
Well, there was 150 different charges within these 21. And most notably, honestly, I could do a whole episode on the Black Panther movement. It's very interesting. But some of the charges that were brought against the Black Panthers were conspiring to bomb the New York Botanical Garden, the railroad tracks, bomb those, and bomb other public spaces.
I mean...
I know.
You can't just bomb places.
I know. It's just conspiring to it.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to, did they actually want to do it, or was this just that some of that racism back in the day?
Yeah, that's true.
You never know.
You're right.
But you never know. Anyways, so back to Tupac, or Lassane. By the time he was 1, his mom changed his name to Tupac Amaru.
So this is it. So then she ended up having a different baby daddy.
Yes, and his name was Billy...
Oh, such a different name.
Billy Garland was his name.
Garland. Okay.
Billy Garland. There's not a whole lot on him, but I'll touch on him a little later. By the time he was 1, his mom changed his name to Tupac Amaru after a Peruvian revolutionary.
You can just change your kid's name?
I guess. I did not know that.
Wow. Okay.
But his mom later went on record and said that she changed his name because she wanted him to have the name of a revolutionary and indigenous people in the world, and she wanted him to know that he was part of a world culture and not just from the neighborhood, which I think is pretty cool.
That is cool.
That is cool, but also, like...
That's a hard name to live up to.
I also don't think, like, a name's gonna do that for you.
No, I think it's how you raise them and how they grow up to be.
Like, you can name your kid...
That Tupac before was not anything... He made that name for himself, you know? You could be named anything and make a name for yourself.
Yep, that's true. And then sometime later, Tupac Amaru, took his last name, or took the last name of his sister's dad, which was Shakur, which is...
Younger sister, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Tupac's father, Billy Garland, was pretty non-existent, was absent after Tupac turned 5, which, like, I couldn't even imagine, just, like, kind of...
I know.
See you later, dude. And Tupac really didn't even see him again until he was about 23. And Tupac also went on
23?
record. 23? Mm-hmm.
Dang, was that 18 years? That's a long time.
Yeah. Tupac went as far as saying that he thought his dad was dead, or his dad was dead the whole time. Just, literally zero contact.
That's just awful.
And Tupac, during an interview with, I want to say it was TMZ or Vogue, I can't remember, he even stated that he wished he had a dad to show him the ropes, but his mom was left alone to raise 3 children who she worked as a paralegal before she started to do. Yeah. She's
busy, dang.
She worked as a paralegal before she started to develop an addiction to crack cocaine in the early 1980s, which we'll touch on in a little bit. And this would cause them...
Is he the oldest of the siblings, did you say?
I think so. I think he is the oldest.
Okay.
I think he is the oldest. But this would cause him and his family to move from house to house, living off welfare, moving from job to job, causing that instability in his life.
Dang, that's so crazy.
And this was all pretty much before he was 13.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Now we're moving on to 13 and on. Okay. So, any questions about that first part?
No, I guess it's just like, so why did he end up taking his sister's last name? Or his sister's dad's last name when...
Well, I think his dad was absent, and maybe...
But then he said that he was absent still, so I guess the sister's dad must have finally stuck around a little bit more than the rest, right?
Mm-hmm. I think Lumumba was the daughter's dad. Or, yeah, his sister's dad. Maybe he was more present.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know, I didn't get that far. Good questions, though. But by the time Tupac was 13, they settled in Baltimore.
Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Tupac was enrolled at the prestigious Baltimore School for the Arts.
Wow.
And Tupac was on record when he said that when he was attending that school, he was the freest that he's ever felt before.
That's so cool.
He just felt free. And you know who else he met there?
Biggie?
No.
Isn't that the guy who's... Oh, yeah.
They're pretty much synonymous,
okay.
Those two, Tupac and Biggie.
But who is it? Ice Cube. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't want to say her name. In case Will Smith is listening.
Oh.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Yep.
Oh, that's too funny. I didn't realize... I don't want to say your name. No, I was like, wait, did I already say them before? Is that what you're saying me for to guess? I was like, I don't know. Who else did I say?
Yeah, so he met Jada Pinkett.
Okay, cool. I forgot that. I knew that, like, in the back of my brain.
I don't think you did.
I've seen pictures.
You're right.
But, I don't
know. But yeah, Tupac wrote poems about her.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And she even cameoed in one of his music videos. The name of the song was Strictly for My Meow.
Wow.
I'm not going to say the word. Boop. Yeah, I said it. Just kidding, I didn't. Later on, Jada admitted that when Tupac and her first met, is that she was dealing him drugs. That she was his drug dealer.
Nice.
Yeah. How sweet. Anyways, as much as Tupac liked the school, the neighborhood that he was part of was riddled with crime, and he described it as a mean little ghetto.
Mean little ghetto?
Yeah.
Dang.
And by this time, it was the early 1980s. Tupac was working through school, and his mom ended up diving deep into crack cocaine. And his mom pretty much was in and out of his life when he was 13, 14, 15, in that young teenager years.
Do you know why?
I don't know. No, there's no...
You don't know what?
I don't know. It's like... I have no idea. It's hard to say. I think it's different with every different kind of addict, maybe.
I know. It's just, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's so sad.
It's very sad. And before that, Tupac and his mom, they were perpetually having falling outs, and they didn't really talk to one another in that time, 13 to 15.
Well, think about, man, I mean...
Dude,
think about being 13, 15.
That's like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and you're just falling out with your mom. You kind of being on your own.
I mean, I had another parent to go to, but, like, I understand.
You're Tupac.
Dude, no, I'm not doing. I just colored my hair purple. No, I'm joking.
You could have rapped.
No, but, like, I didn't talk to my mom for years.
Yeah.
I guess, like, especially as an angsty teen. Like, I mean, obviously, like, my mom wasn't doing the, like...
You had somebody to fall back onto. Yeah. Like, Tupac didn't have a father figure.
Yeah, I mean, he had... But, yeah, no, it's, No, but I guess I understand to a point, right? Like, I obviously don't fully understand, but you understand as a teenager when you're kind of, like... let down almost by your parent.
Really?
Like, you're like, this is somebody who's supposed to help me through my life, who's supposed to support me, who's there, and they're just checked out. They're not here. Like,
that's crazy. I've never experienced
and you're already trying to figure out yourself. Like, you're like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm trying to figure out who I am as a person. I don't have time for your crap.
That's very true. I don't think I've ever experienced that feeling.
I'm happy.
I'm happy you didn't. Yeah, I'm grateful for it.
But I'm obviously not saying, like, to the extent of, like, all this, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not the extent to this, but I don't know. Sometimes I wish I was given a little more leniency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know.
Childhood's childhood. It makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And now we're going to make our own.
That's true. I think it made me funny.
I think it did too.
I don't know. Being the middle child and all. It just made me... I just wanted to make people laugh because then I was recognized in the room. And so if I could make people laugh, I wasn't invisible.
Don't worry, I always saw you.
I know you did. I know these jokes gotcha. Anyways.
So they didn't talk for a few years?
They didn't talk for a few years. Mm-hmm. But, however, during this time, while he was at the school, it's when Tupac really...
Which is so cool that he got into the school.
Yeah.
Right? Performing arts?
The School of the Arts.
School of the Arts. That's cool, though.
So he started digging into hip-hop a lot.
I mean...
when he was in this school. So my assumption...
You go into music, right?
Yeah, it's true. And he loved it so much that it pulled him away, actually, from his life of crime at the time.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
So he was doing this over and over again. Mm-hmm. Just kind of writing poems about Jada Pinkett and doing a little bit of drugs, but loving hip-hop at the same time.
Yeah.
He was loving it. And when he was 17, he found a friendship with a Lila Steinberg. And I don't even know why they mentioned her because, well, he met her when she was hosting poetry lessons in a park. And Tupac was already writing poetry pretty obsessively and vigorously. And he just loved it. But he somehow convinced Steinberg to be his manager, who had no experience, wasn't even a music manager, was literally just a grad student. Had no connections. Nothing.
Oh, no. I mean...
but somehow...
At 17... You're not thinking about all that. You're just like, this person believes in me.
Yeah,
I want them to have everybody else believe in me.
But somehow she secured a deal or a meeting with a real music manager, and got Tupac secured as a roadie and a backup dancer for a hip hop group called Digital Underground in 1990.
No way, that's so crazy.
When he was 19.
That's so cool. At 19, could you imagine? You're like,
bro, I'd be so out of here. Gone. This kind of pushed him into his career where he is now, or where he was. And he stepped up to the mic in 1991 after doing some time as a roadie, backup dancer. And then in 1991 is where he landed a deal with Interscope Records.
what?
Have you heard of Interscope? Mm-mm. It's the same record deal that Eminem's on. Okay. MGK, a few different other people are on it. Huh?
Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure.
Interscope, at that time it wasn't that big, but now it's a pretty well known.
You have Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly on it, yeah.
I mean, Machine Gun Kelly.
Didn't he like marry Megan Fox or something?
I don't know if they're married.
Or they got engaged and they broke it off or something. I don't know, but I feel like Megan Fox was pretty big. I thought they
drank each other's blood.
That's what I heard, but I don't know. But I mean, I feel like maybe not music wise, but like people who know him wise.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Megan Fox is pretty well known too.
I loved her ever since I saw Transformers.
See, I've never seen Transformers, but...
You've never seen Transformers?
No.
Ever?
No.
Do you know who Bumblebee is? Dude.
Okay, wait, that's the yellow one, right?
The hesitation.
Bumblebee is yellow,
The hesitation is everything I need to know.
It's just a yellow one, right?
I can't believe this.
If you ask me, Optimus Prime is one, right?
Yeah.
Because we had a Sonic slushie that color. It's red and blue.
Optimus Prime. That's my Optimus Prime voice.
That's literally Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are the only ones I know because we had Sonic slushies that
To be 100% honest, do you know who the Autobots are?
No. Autobots. Roll out.
Okay.
What is that from?
You got that right.
What is it from, though?
It's Transformers.
Oh, see, I don't know.
I'm like 80% sure.
Oh, I just say Autobots roll out. That's all I know. There's other people that said it. But Transformers I've never seen because...
Well, I
mean, I hadn't even seen Marvel until after, 20 years old? But now I'm knees deep. I'm up into my neck in Marvel now.
Dude, I remember when I first watched the first Transformers and Megan Fox was in there with Shia LaBeouf.
The first thing I think of... Oh, Shia LaBeouf's from Even Steven, right?
I just know him from Holes.
Or Holes, yeah.
Even Stevens.
Or not Even Steven. Yeah, it's Even Stevens. Whatever.
I've never seen that one.
1997.
It's a 1997 classic. Anyways, Megan Fox has had my heart ever since she was on Transformers.
See, I've only seen her act in New Girl.
She still had my heart then, too.
Okay.
Anyways. And while the whole time... Or wait. So yeah, he landed the record deal with Interscope Records. And Tupac's first solo artist album was called Tupacalypse Now. Tupacalypse.
Dude, that's a pretty cool name.
It's a pretty cool title.
I mean, that's pretty fire.
And the whole time while he was making music, he felt as if he was misunderstood. That
like his music was misunderstood?
Yeah, at that time there was a lot of music talking about how everything was beautiful, everything's perfect peace, and all that.
70s, dude. 70s just came off that 70s hype.
70s, 80s, 90s.
And then 90s is when I feel like everybody's like...
And he felt, though, he was misunderstood, that life isn't all beautiful, that there's killings and drugs and crime, and a perfect album for him was showing a little bit of like humanity and reality, that things, aren't perfect. He was rapping out things that bother him and kind of sensitive topics.
That's cool.
And so he was kind of gaining this popularity at the time, but his mom was still on the streets doing crack cocaine. And she was unaware of how well he was doing. and until a friend of hers asked her about Tupac. And she didn't even know. She had no idea what he was doing. And it was pretty much at that moment that she decided that she was going to start getting sober, and she did.
That's so cool. Well, it sucks that had to happen, but it's cool that she's made that she ended up making that decision. And
then later in 1991, after about a year after he signed the Interscope deal, Tupac and his mom were close, they stayed close up until his death.
That's cool. Are you going to go into his quote-unquote death? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yep, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around Tupac, and we'll touch on a couple of them.
That's when I think when I first, you were like, well, yeah, Tupac's not dead. And I was like, well, who's Tupac? Why?
Yeah.
What? There is a movie about North and West Coast, right? Because that's, or not North
East
and West. East and West Coast.
Fuck those Canadians.
There is a movie about that. I watched it with you.
The East Coast?
It's about the East and West Coast. But I want to say it followed more of Biggie's side, not...
And I watched it?
I feel like there's a movie about it. That it was the more of the rivalry, but I don't remember what one it was.
Was it Straight Outta Compton?
Maybe it goes into it. I don't know. But I feel like I was he died? And you were like, yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy if he did. Or I think you were like, if he did die.
No idea. And this literally does not ring a bell in my head.
I feel like it's a movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing it.
I'll have to look it up. Well, if we find it, I'll put it in the notes.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I can't think of it at all. So, yeah, after his mom got sober, and then, so a little bit more about Tupac is that in his whole lifetime, is that he only released 4 albums while he was alive. He only released 4 albums.
That's it?
But a total of 21 albums were put to his name.
No way.
10 of those 21 albums went platinum, and as of July 2023, he is the 45th top selling artist of all time. And
what? That is intense.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. And in 2017, he was indicted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, back on topic here, just jumping back into Tupac's life. In 1992, I'm going pretty much by year, a group of jealous kids attacked Tupac. And when he drew his pistol, Tupac drew his pistol, and the fight began between these kids and Tupac, which I'm assuming by 1991, he was born in... When was he born? 1971. He was 20 years old. Okay. So it was probably more like 20-year-olds attacking him. The gun ended up getting dropped, and somebody picked it up and fired it. Fired the gun, and it hit nobody in the group. But it did hit a 6-year-old kid, and it ended up killing him.
Oh, my God.
Yep. It was a... I don't want to mess up this name, but I think it's Quaid. It's QA''ID. I'm going to go with Quid. I don't know. Yeah, Quid Walker Teal, and a 6-year-old bystander took the bullet and died.
No way. I literally... When you said it didn't hit anybody, I was like, good. And then you said it hit a 6-year-old?
Mm-hmm. A little 6-year-old boy, yep.
Oh my
God. Tupac was pretty inconsolable. He was taken to court. And we'll touch on this court case in a little bit because it'll tie in better later on.
Okay.
But yeah, a little 6-year-old kid died because somebody in that fight decided to fire the bullet. 6-year-old.
It makes me sick.
It
makes me a little bit sick. That's awful.
Yeah, it's pretty atrocious. And then 1 year later in 1993, Tupac was shot by 2 off-duty police officers in Atlanta. And one...
For what?
Well, we'll get it. Okay. He got shot once in the belly and once in the butt cheek. And he ended up fighting with them. And he started fighting them. And they took him to court.
Okay.
The cops took Tupac to court. But the case was dropped pretty quickly because... lawyer's nightmare, pretty much. The cops were drunk.
Oh, nice.
hold on, it gets better. They started the fight.
Nice.
And then the cop threatened Tupac with a stolen gun.
You're telling me this dumbass had an actual stolen gun?
Yep.
I was like, oh my god, what a dingle.
Dude, like, I don't know what you expected.
Also, god.
Imagine being the lawyer. You're like, what? What are you telling me right now?
Oh my god, what a bunch of dumbasses.
Okay. But he didn't always evade jail time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1994, he did do some jail time. He did a few little acting roles every now and then, like movie roles.
Oh, okay.
And while he was on set to film Menace to Society, which I tried to watch one of the other days, but you didn't like it that much. It's a funny movie. But anyways, he got fired from the set straight from the director for being disruptive, and he assaulted the director.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then 1994 also. So in the background, in this time, a couple years before, Notorious B.I.G., which is Biggie, people call him, he was kind of friends in this time, but we'll right back around to it, promise. Excuse me. Anyways, in 1994, he became a target where he was shot multiple times, about 5 times, in a recording studio by 2 young black men. And
bro, you're telling me at this point, this man has been shot 7 times?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
He got shot 5 times
Jeez.
in a lobby, and he believed it to be Notorious B.I.G. that set up the whole thing. But at that time, him and Biggie were friends. They were friends. So it's kind of at that point, that was a turning point for the East Coast, West Coast. And we'll dig into that here in a little bit.
Because he was East Coast. Tupac was East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast. Even though he was from Baltimore.
See, that's why I was like, wait, was he East Coast?
Either way. For that crime where he got shot 5 times, nobody was ever charged for it. However, in 2011, a Dexter Isaac, he was a New York prisoner, serving life for an unrelated crime, claimed that the music executive James Henchman Rosemond paid him to steal from Tupac, but when things went wrong, he ended up shooting Tupac 5 times. He was just going to steal from him, like kind of mug him a little bit.
His last name was Henchman?
No. His name...
the other guy. He said that he was working for... His last name was Henchman.
Who are you talking about?
You said that...
Dexter Isaac?
Yeah, you said that...
He worked for a music executive named James Rosemond, but his middle name was Henchman, because he always had people around him.
Oh, like his nick... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like... You're telling me this guy just had that name. Okay.
So, yeah, Rosemond paid him to steal from Tupac, but things went wrong. He ended up shooting Tupac. Supposedly. It's not proven, but that's kind of what he came out and said about 12 years ago.
Yeah, I could say sometimes it's hard with those because people in prison, especially when they're already on life or something else, they're like, they'll show up to anything.
Right. And then in 1995... Tupac was sentenced to somewhere between 1.5 to 4.5 years, somewhere in that range. We'll touch on why it's not an exact date here in a little bit, for sexual assault. And so he denied all of it. He denied it, but did come out with a public statement when he said that he had a job to do, and it was to protect her, but he didn't show up. So supposedly what happened was a fan came to meet them after a show, and everybody in the room raped her. And Tupac was in that room, but he didn't protect her. So he got charged. He got charged for it as well as like some other people.
What?
Yep.
What? Are you fucking serious? Why would people do that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
This makes me sick. Makes me so upset at the same time.
I know, it's pretty sickening.
Why wouldn't... I mean, I get it. It's like, you're surrounded by a bunch of people. You're also, like, don't know what these other people are going to do. Like, I get, like, being scared. But could you imagine how scared she was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get. I don't even want to say anything else. Anyways, keep going.
Okay. And then pretty much from this moment on is where a lot of conspiracies stem from. So one from him getting shot in the lobby, one from this moment, and one from later on that we haven't touched on yet. Okay. But while Tupac was in jail on a dark and stormy night, he was visited by Suge Knight. Have you ever heard anything about Suge Knight?
I would say no.
Well, at the time that he was alive, when Tupac was alive, he's still alive now, I'm pretty sure. He was co-owner of Death Row Records.
That sounds more familiar.
Death Row.
I don't know why. Death Row Records, maybe just because Death Row. I don't know.
It's owned by Snoop Dogg now.
Maybe then.
But Suge Knight has a lot of conspiracy surrounding him.
Oh, really?
A lot of people compare him to the devil.
Damn.
Yeah, it's...
What's his name?
Suge Knight.
I mean, yeah. It's a good one for the devil.
So, it was on this night where Suge Knight came to visit him.
The devil?
Yeah. To pay... And he offered to pay Tupac's bail. And it was a set at $1.3 million.
For sexual assault? Is that high? Oh, I guess.
My guess is there was...
Why so high?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he would only do it if he signed to Death Row Records. And Tupac did it. So one of the conspiracies is that from that point he signed his life away to the devil. And from pretty much at this point to his death...
How many years was it?
I don't know. Just
what
remember
year is this? What year is it?
95.
Okay. I'll remember it.
Pretty much from this point on, he only gained popularity and notoriety. Just skyrocketed. He was skyrocketing. Okay. Pretty much from this point on, he exploded. Okay. And so one of the conspiracies is, I'm not saying either of them are true, but one of the conspiracies is that he signed his life away to the devil.
I'll tell you which one's true.
He signed his life away to the devil, which... happened to be channeled through Suge Knight, and gave him only a few years of really popular music, really good, high energy, high selling music, gave him a lot of money from this point on. Okay. And so following when he got out of prison, he used this outlaw persona that he kind of cultivated in prison that happened all around him, even though he was just kind of this normal dude. This persona ended up surrounding him. Like
now that he's gone to prison?
Right.
Okay.
Being an outlaw, thug life, I'm sure you've heard. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And he used this outlaw persona to the public to make music about it.
That is true, because I definitely... Before this, I thought Tupac was like maybe in and out of jail all the time.
Yeah, right? So, but behind the scenes, this whole time he was alive, when he was obviously had money, behind the scenes, he was financing an at-risk youth center. He was bankrolling young sports teams that didn't have a whole lot of money.
Dang.
And that he set up different telephone hotlines in different cities for kids that needed somebody to talk to, at-risk youth.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody ever talks about that. That's something I learned. I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Which makes me think he's kind of more of a good guy, cared about his community,
Well, yeah, because he needed that.
But, the jail time also is kind of a rough case.
Also sounds like...
Maybe he was scared.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll never know.
You'll never know, especially what he says, well, I was the only one that didn't do it, and that's hard to kind of I wouldn't say believe in, but...
Well, I think if you're in a room of all these people that are doing that, whether you participate or not, everybody's at fault.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Whether
yeah, and even if... Yeah, I... With that, too, like, especially with he's like, I didn't do it, like, what is to say that he didn't, or that he did do it, you know? I guess there's no... Like, if he had a history, like, sexual assault, or, like, doing something like that, and he never did, so you would want to, like, maybe side with the side of, yeah, he didn't... No, like, he didn't do anything. But he was there. But he was
which
there.
Which is equally as bad.
Knowing about it. I mean, that still makes you an accomplice, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, it still makes it wrong. Like, it's hard when... It's just hard, because it's like, you know something bad's happening, and especially when you're in the room. Like, it's... I mean, I would say it might be even different. Like, when you maybe know about it, but you're not in the room. But if you're in the room, you're in it. You're in the thick of it. You are not... There's really nowhere you're going to go. And especially, like, he's carrying around a gun. Other people are going to, like... Maybe, you never know. Like, I guess he did until maybe that kid died. But, like, he maybe did afterwards.
We don't know what the room looks like.
Yeah, you don't know who it looks like. But people with a lot of power and a lot of money, usually you do have that kind of backing, you know? Mm-hmm. So, you're scared for your own life at that point. But very true. That's so crazy.
But so yeah, he was kind of financing all these things behind the scenes, and his debut album with Death Row Records was All Eyes on Me.
Oh, I know that song.
It's an album. I think it is also a song too.
Oh well, I know. I guess I know the song that I'm thinking about.
He talked about his thug lifestyle, but while at the same time being socially conscious. Mm-hmm. He was talking about real issues that he saw in his life, drugs, crime, and violence. And Dr. Dre produced one of the songs in the album that became a huge hit, nationwide hit. I'm sure you know what it is. Take a guess. Tupac, you know what it is. I know you do.
No, I don't. I don't want to say it and be wrong.
Okay, go ahead, say it.
No.
California love.
That's hit. Okay, I guess I didn't realize.
You didn't realize that was Tupac? Yeah. No. Produced by Dr. Dre. Nice. And it went #1, and it's still probably his most well-known song. Even if you don't know it's Tupac, you pretty much...
I know that song, like, instantly,
You know it.
Yeah. Well, now that I think about it, I know it's Tupac, I guess.
Yeah, it was probably one of his most famous songs. Nice. And then in 1996, so a year afterwards, a diss track was released called "Hit 'Em Up."
What's a diss track?
It's where rappers, like, you diss another rapper, you know.
Oh, okay.
A diss track.
I see. So literally what it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah, literally what it sounds like. My favorite one is Pusha T against Drake. It's a phenomenal diss track. I think it's Story of Adonis. It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
By who?
Pusha T.
Oh, okay.
Pusha T sending it to Drake. It's so good.
Oh, okay.
It is.
So, like, they can...
Masterpiece.
Okay. So... Pretty much rappers can just like, yo, this is for you, baby girl.
Yeah, so you remember the whole MGK and Eminem thing? How MGK made a diss track about Eminem. I didn't know.
See, babe, you didn't know that? You follow music, I don't know.
First you told me you don't know Bumblebee. This is arguably worse.
I didn't know. Eminem, I don't know. I know, like, what, like 3 songs by Eminem?
Okay, well, that's... I mean, I don't follow Eminem
I don't know if I know any Machine Gun Kelly... MGK.
Either way, it's fine.
I don't know if I know any of his songs.
You and me both.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if I know. I just know he married or got involved. I think all I remember is he put a freaking ring on Megan Fox that she took it off and ripped her finger off.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like one of those rumored that it's like you put it on, but then it like has spikes to where if you pull it off, it like will come off or something.
Why don't you just cut it off?
Well, obviously, I'm guessing he would just do that, but like that's goodness. Like the whole point. I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Safe she got, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I don't keep up with that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's okay. So yeah, he released a diss track called "Hit 'Em Up," which is still to this day.
To who?
to Notorious B.I.G.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
Which still to this day is kind of considered one of the top diss tracks of all time. I mean, there's a lot out there.
There is? I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
It's literally like...
It's still kind of a thing, but it's like nobody makes really good ones anymore. I think the best one I've heard recently is probably Pusha T to Drake, which is still over like 7 years old, 6 years old, 5 years old. That's a really good one. There's a few out there. I just
didn't realize that was a thing. I didn't realize that was a thing at all.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I love them.
Do people do it like multiple times to the same person, or is this kind of like one?
Depends
like,
if you want to go back and forth.
Oh, so like if you was back and forth, but if you were like just like rapid fire, just like keep on, then it's like not.
So like the MGK scenario, this is what Eminem said pretty much was like, MGK wrote a diss about Eminem saying how he was like old, irrelevant, like not really in the music business anymore. So Eminem fired back for not for like MGK dissing him, but pretty much Eminem did an interview on this. I can't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much because he was bored.
Okay.
And pretty much said you only did it because my name is a lot more famous than yours. Yada yada yada.
Nice.
Like a bunch of other stuff came up. Anyways, okay. MGK ended up leaving rap and did rock and roll music afterwards. So I guess it was effective.
But okay, I see what it is. Okay.
So yeah, you just kind of diss on them or a group or a crew. Anyways,
cool. I didn't know. That's cool.
So yeah, he released a diss track called "Hit 'Em Up," which you should listen to. It's pretty good. The ending is my favorite. Actually, I'm gonna pause it and we're gonna listen just to the last minute. Okay.
Okay. I just listened to that last minute.
The last minute and a half.
And that is...
You feel the rage, right?
Yeah, he is upset.
Yeah, you feel it.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You feel it pretty good.
That is... Yeah. Man.
I love it,
He's
dude.
upset.
Dude, I listen to that song when I'm at the gym and I'm just like, yeah. Anyways, however, within 3 months of releasing that song, Tupac was murdered.
No way.
Yep. And then within 6 months of that song, the Hit 'Em Up song, Notorious
Okay, wait, when was the song released?
In 96.
Only a year. He only had a year?
Mm-hmm.
How many months?
I couldn't tell you how many months.
When was he murdered?
1996. Oh, he died, or he was murdered on September 7th, 1996, but he died, well, he got shot September 7th, 1996, but he died on September 13th. He succumbed to his injuries.
1996?
Yes.
In September?
He died September 13th.
September 13th? Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I need to see if that's Friday the 13th. I'm sorry. We need to see if this is Friday the 13th.
All right, we'll be right back.
Oh, my God.
Is it?
It's fucking Friday the 13th.
No fucking way.
You look at this.
1996?
19...
He died on Friday the 13th.
Bro, I'm gonna pee myself.
Dude, what?
Bro.
I didn't even look that up.
Dude. Oh, my God.
Spooky.
Dude. I made a deal with the devil. Sorry, I've already made it. You've decided? I've decided. He's made a deal with the devil. Oh my God. Friday the 13th, he died.
Wow. I didn't even look that up.
Dead.
Okay.
When you said September 13th, I was like, okay, there's a lot of threes, because we did an episode on threes. How people, it was, satanic, or, people didn't like threes.
All right.
So I was like, September, 9, that's, 3 threes. You got 13th, there's a 3 there, and then 1996, it's a lot of 3, divisible by 3s.
To be fair,
it's a pretty devilish number.
1 in 3 numbers are going to be divisible by 3. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. But it's Friday the 13th. Dude, I'm freaked out.
I didn't even put that together, to be honest.
Well, I saw 13th.
I know, dude. You're probably thinking, did he get a tattoo?
Did he get a $20 tattoo?
He had a $20 tattoo? But yeah, so within 6 months of Hit 'Em Up...
Can you pause it?
So within 6 months of the Hit 'Em Up song, Notorious B.I.G. was murdered.
Oh, so then 3 months after him?
I don't know if it exactly lines up to 3 months, but March.
March what?
1997.
March 1997. Do you know what day?
No.
No? I was going to say,
don't.
do you think it's a Friday the 13th as well?
I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have it all. But what is weird is that the diss track that Tupac wrote in the middle of it, he sent kind of a chilling message that kind of intertwines with how he was murdered. So you just let me know what you think. Actually, should we just have Tupac say it instead of me?
What?
We'll pause it again and you can just hear it from Tupac.
Okay.
Go pause it. What's that?
Okay, so he was killed with a Glock.
Yeah. So grab your Glock when you see Tupac. Mm-hmm. Call the cops when you see Tupac. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of... People think that he knew he was going to die, so that's why he wrote that in there.
I mean...
I know, it's kind of like...
he literally just... I mean, Tupac was firing shots, dude.
Yeah.
He was like, you got guns? I got guns in my belly. Guns.
So,
Glock, Tupac, I mean... That's a perfect one right there. Like, it just rhymes.
You're right, dude. So, yeah, Tupac ended up dying on September 13th, 1996. And so on September 7th, Tupac was in Las Vegas with Suge Knight, which is the night he got shot. So supposedly what was going to happen, this was how it kind of played out. So they were going to go watch a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand in Vegas.
Cool.
And apparently...
I know where the MGM is.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay.
And apparently beforehand there was a scufflebutt between a member... like a little...
A scuffle.
A little scuffle.
Okay.
Between a member of the Crips and Tupac.
Okay.
Which Suge Knight is a known member of the Bloods.
Oh, okay. Was Tupac a known member of either? Or no?
He wore a red bandana, which kind of signifies maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But no real solid evidence there. But so Knight, we all know that he's involved with the Bloods.
Okay.
And he got a group of people to pile into several different cars. Mm-hmm. And Tupac ended up going with Suge Knight. So on that night, I guess there's some accounts with people that were in the room that Suge Knight did not want Tupac to go with him. He was kind of like, come on, like, go with somebody else almost. Like, he didn't want... Like, Suge Knight seemed almost visibly distressed by it. He ended up going with Tupac anyways. Like, they ended up leaving together, and it was just him and Tupac in one car, and it was a black BMW. So, they all ended up leaving, and when Suge and Tupac were in the car at a red light, a white Cadillac pulled up right next to him and fired 13 shots into Tupac. They shot him in the pelvis and the lungs and the chest. And
13 shots into him or into the car?
Into the car. A lot of them ended up hitting him though.
Okay.
And that's another conspiracy from that point, is from the night prior into like, did Suge Knight have something to do with it? Mm-hmm. You know, because Suge Knight kind of pops in and out through Tupac's career. Mm-hmm. You know, he's co-owner of Death Row Records with Dr. Dre, which is kind of known as a good guy, and another dude named, I can't remember his name. But there's many theories about his murder. But what they found recently was that they'd found his killer, which was named Keefe D.
Keefe
D. His real name, Keith Davis. So it's still undecided whether Keith Davis was actually the one to pull the trigger. His reports suggest that he wasn't the one to pull the trigger. So there was 4 people in the white Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the front passenger seat. Don't know who was driving, but
he doesn't know, or he doesn't want to say.
Everybody's dead except for him. Everybody is dead now that was in the car, except for him. He doesn't have any records on the driver. He doesn't want to say anything, but on the back seat driver side was his nephew. We'll just call him Anderson. Mm-hmm. And then next to him on the backseat passenger side, don't know his name either. Mm-hmm. But the prevailing theory is that Keith, they knew they were going out for Tupac, and Keith grabbed a gun from wherever he had one, threw it in the back seat, and said, "One of you guys do it." But his nephew, which, why the fuck are you bringing your nephew on something like this? Mm-hmm. He said his nephew grabbed the gun and looked at everybody in there and said, "Not everybody's a killer." Looked over, saw Tupac, and fired 13 shots. His nephew later...
So you're telling me he just throws his nephew in?
No, his nephew was a known Crips member.
Oh, okay.
So the story... That's his story, and that's kind of the prevailing theory. But since nobody is alive anymore,
back it up, yeah.
They just kind of charged him. So, personally, I don't think he probably is the one that didn't shoot the gun, especially if he's from the driver passenger seat or the front passenger.
So they came up like side by side
at a stoplight.
Because they were both going the same direction.
Yep, and he passed the gun to the back, and his nephew Anderson, which was sitting in the driver passenger, driver back. Okay, I see. He ended up rolling up on Tupac, which Tupac was on the passenger side.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And there's a lot of conspiracies that Tupac was murdered. So one of them was that he sold his life to the devil for like a year of fame, notoriety, which pretty much sold it away with Suge Knight. The next one is that he's not really dead, that he's living in the Bahamas or wherever. There's a lot of sightings of him. A lot of the sightings do look like him, but not really at the same time.
Yeah.
And the other one is that he was murdered by Suge Knight.
Or by B.I.G.?
That's another one here.
There's another one. Okay.
So I don't have a whole lot about Biggie, but I do have some history with them that ties back into 1990, like 1992, 1993. Okay. So Big, actually, he grew up in New York, and he was just kind of a regular dude. He started a little mafia group called Junior Mafia, and he was selling crack.
Nice.
Just since he was like 12.
Dang.
Yeah, his mom was very strict.
Nice.
And he would just sell crack on all the other days, I guess.
Nice.
But him and Tupac ended up becoming friends when they met at a party. And they were like freestyling together, just having a good time. And him and Tupac actually ended up being good friends to the point where like Tupac was giving him gifts, like bottles of Hennessy, whatever it is.
Yeah. And
then in 1993, Biggie asked Tupac to be his manager. But Tupac said, "Nah, man, I don't mix business with friendships. Like I don't do any of that." So we kind of shot him down there. And so they were all good friends up until this point. Nothing crazy. But when Tupac got shot down in the lobby, the reason that he thought it was Biggie's because Biggie's crew made it to the floor they needed to be on at the recording studio after Tupac got shot. And Biggie's crew looked like, supposedly, I mean, this is all just theoretical, well, not theoretical, but like kind of secondhand accounts, is that they looked surprised and guilty that Tupac, like, got shot. Like, they were like, oh, like, what happened there, you know? And this point when he got shot was when the rivalry between the East and West Coast really started heating up, sending diss tracks to each other. And the rivalry between Death Row and Bad Boy Records, which was Biggie's record label.
That's what his name was. Okay.
And when Tupac signed to Death Row, it cemented that kind of that cutoff of the friendship, East Coast versus West Coast. And although he didn't try to say that Biggie said he didn't have anything to do with Tupac getting shot, but 3 months after Tupac did get shot, he released a song called "Who Shot Ya?" Yeah.
What does that song say? Anything?
We'll have to listen to it. I haven't listened to it in a long time. But the rest is history. The rest is like...
Dang. What do you think it is, babe? Do you think he's alive? Do you think he's dead? What do you think is happening?
I don't think he's alive. I think he's dead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think he died?
I think so.
I mean, I could see selling your soul for a good year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, only a year? That sucks.
I think a lot of his notoriety and like his big success came from after the fact. You know, like what do they call it? Post-mortem? No. Posthumous? Posthumous?
How are you asking?
Oh.
Posthumous?
There's a word like when Mick Miller releases albums, even though he died.
Oh, I don't know what that... But yeah, like... Postpartum is... or postpartum.
Not postpartum.
I don't know. But yeah, afterwards.
Posthumous, I think is what it is.
Okay.
I think... Especially if he only released 4 albums while he was alive and then 21
that's
more
so crazy.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, that's bonkers.
Yeah, well...
And you know who got most of that money?
Exactly.
Suge Knight.
And that's the other thing is... did he really think he wouldn't have ever gotten out of jail if... I
don't know, but, you know, he died in... When was it? When did he die?
96.
96. He was born in 71. He was 25.
That's your... Yeah.
He's my age.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. You're just young and dumb.
Dang.
And you're signing these record deals, making these songs.
Like, would you, like, Devil came to you right now and was like, I'll give you a year of the freaking best year of your whole life. Whatever you want. Would you do it? For 1 year?
I would look at the devil right in the fucking eyes and I would say, you have nothing that I want.
Wow.
And he would say, what do you mean? And I would say, buddy, I want the snack wrap from McDonald's.
Stop, that's mine. That's mine. You can't take mine.
I don't know. If the devil came up to me and said, I'll give you a year, the best year of your life. What?
No.
Oh. If the devil came up to me and said, I'll give you the best year of your life, you just have to sell your soul to me or whatever. I'd say, what does this year look like? Is there an itinerary? And I would debate it.
I don't know if I would debate it with how little our kid is.
Very true. You're very thoughtful.
If she was...
But if it's a pretty kick-ass year...
If she was...
If it was a pretty kick-ass year, I'd probably think about it, but I wouldn't go through with it.
No, she'd have to be...
But if there's no itinerary, I ain't going. If he's like, oh yeah, in 2 weeks we're going to be at the top of the Himalayas.
Great. Good to know.
But I probably won't, just so you know.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. Mental note.
So, devil,
Dang.
don't come a-knocking.
Well, freaking Tupac died on Friday the freaking 13th.
I did not know that.
I'm
So,
spooked.
if Friday the 13th comes around and you don't have a tattoo, get one about Tupac.
Yeah.
He died for our sins.
He died for our sins. No, you're that is so crazy. Dang, Tupac, man.
So what do you think about his story?
That's so cool. There's a lot of stuff I didn't realize.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. I could have spent more time in a lot of different places. He's pretty influential, but also he had a pretty rough upbringing, and it's pretty evident through his music. Like, if you ever have a chance, I would listen to Brenda's Got a Baby, which talks about, like, pregnancy and abortion in lower class people. It's pretty good. It's very sad, but it's pretty good.
Dang. Well, I liked it. I liked it a lot. You always do a really good job.
Thank you.
But anything else? Anything your opinions? No, you got no opinion on what?
Nope. I listened to a lot of conspiracy theories about Tupac, but it's nice producing one. Yeah. Where it's complete. Yeah. Like, supposedly this is his killer. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if he is alive, if Tupac is alive, I hope he's out there just chilling. Yeah, just enjoying life. Just enjoying life outside of the view of the public eye. Yeah, because at this point, he's what, like 40-something? No, he's like 50. 50? He's 52. 52? I wonder if my mom ever listened to Tupac. I wonder. I bet she did. My dad is 1 year younger than Tupac, or older than Tupac. Dang, that's so crazy. I wonder if my dad ever listened to Tupac. I'm going to ask him. You should. He'd be like, no. He'd be like, no, mijo. I never did. But I met him on my travels. I know. That's exactly what he'd say. I met him once. He's like, yeah, in 1997. No, I'm joking. Afterwards. But, no, that's awesome. Well, that was a good one. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. On the next one. Bye.